Good evening. We are joined by Vitality, who are coming off of their match against T1. We'll begin with questions from the remote media and then move to any in-house questions. Pedro, would you like to ask the first question?
I guess I shall. Well, Pedro Romero, independent journalist. First and foremost, commiserations on the loss to T1 and subsequent elimination from Masters. Obviously a tough way to go down, but hopefully you guys can recover from this in due time. First and foremost, though, I gotta ask my question over to Sayf. It'd be fair to say that the momentum of the series went from you guys' favor to T1's side in second map on Haven, and one thing that I kind of wanted to touch upon first and foremost was sort of the switch to Jet. A vast contrast to the kind of comps that you've been showing on that map throughout this year so far. So what I want to ask you, sort of like, what was um the rationale behind making that um comp switch, and what was the game plan and how what went wrong there?
Hmm. Game plan. I mean, just executing on site becomes a lot easier and taking site. I think we didn't really fail on the initial idea of the comp. I think it's just we played our fundamental pretty bad, and that's it. I don't think idea is it's really easy to exec with it and get site, and you double dive, and it becomes really annoying, which worked most of the time. It's just snowballed in the opposite because of other things, and yeah, it's not really a comp thing, but that's the idea with the comp at least.
Thank you. We'll take the next question from Fernando.
Thank you. Hi, guys. Sorry for your loss. My questions goes for Les. Les, no show da Game Arena, eu queria te perguntar, cara, primeiramente, sinto muito pela derrota e pela eliminação. Queria te perguntar a sua avaliação, né, nesses seus primeiros dois campeonatos de temporada com a Vitality, de primeira temporada jogando no time internacional.
Foi um NT. ah, Seus primeiros dois campeonatos, acho que o meu primeiro não foi tão bom. Meu segundo, ah, acho que eu tentei ali, né? Não foi o melhor, mas é um novo time, é uma nova língua, então eu não vou me criticar tanto assim, então eu acho que foi decente.
Obrigado. Good luck, guys, on throughout the season.
Thank you. We'll move to the in-house media.
Good evening. My name is Brian Francis from esports.net. I would like to ask this question to Seth. This is concerning the last map of Split. During this map, your team could only secure on the attack only 3 rounds. Could you tell like what went wrong and how T1 were like better you all on defense, or what could have gone wrong from your end?
They pick, we die. Like, it's a fundamental issue. It's unfortunate it had to happen that way, but yeah, I can't really give a proper answer because obviously I'm still off the game fresh. But yeah, probably something in the fundamentals. Like, could be any call that's correct, and if we lose a man, it becomes awkward. So them pushing over and over again with the op and just putting pressure made it hard for us.
Thank you so much for your answer and all the best for stage 1.
Thank you. We'll go to Arnab next.
Hey guys, likewise commiseration on the loss, but really great showing in the first international tournament. My question goes to Safe, and if he did want to add on it. Yesterday I asked about the double duelist comp you guys brought in Haven, but you guys lagged in that map. Do you think, given that teams have already seen your structure during the kickoff with the double duelist composition, it wasn't as surprising as your any other composition would have been?
I mean, yeah, maybe it's not surprising. It's definitely different to play against compared to the ISO, but I don't think it mattered that much. I think there's a lot of changes we could have made that we didn't, and that's about it. I think it's a different thing to play against, though. Just one agent can change a lot. So yeah.
Any comments on that?
No, I think different double initiator, double controller, double duelist, like they all have different styles, right? And I think at this day and age, T1 They have a great coach. They have a great understanding of the game, and I think it's just who can play it better, who can play the fundamentals correct, and we have talented players. That's not even a question. I think the difference is getting us on the same page and playing to the strength of these comps. So I don't think it's necessarily a surprise if there any comp really that's being played out right now. I think it's just more of adaptations and being able to problem solve on the fly. So
I have a couple of more questions. This is for Dhaka. Not a question.
Recording in
I
progress.
really loves your picture which you post with a glass of wine. So it was funny to see after the even after the loss you tweeted about it. But I want to know from your perspective. Ever since you joined Vitality, this was the first international event. How individual performance have been improving for yourself as well, and how your team cohesion has improved with the new team.
I mean, individually for me, it's like after the group stage, I kind of sucked, which is fine. It happens. Then I think team cohesion is a bit hard to work on because like we came from kickoff wins, they come here, and it's like we have a lot of things to fix, and some of them requires a little bit more time than usual, and it's like a new team still if you think about it. Like some of the boys haven't been this far, for example, in a Masters tournament before, or maybe even Masters. So I think us coming this far is good and achieving maybe for some of the boys for our growth and stuff. But like individually, I think everyone here knows that we can do a lot better and we want to do a lot better. And like, I think me and Les, for example, take it also even harder because like, we're used to doing more. So these kind of things suck, but I think it's just a process, kind of like cycle of life. You have to go through it if you want to win, because like nobody really wins with a fresh team and goes in and wins everything. Like even if you look at G2, they haven't won much, but they're a team and they're really strong and they're showing it now. They have been playing together with the squad or whatever for like almost 2 years and stuff, and we almost beat them. So as long as we keep working and stuff, I think it's gonna be all good. Like we have a lot of potential, just up to ourselves if we want to unlock it or not.
Agreed. Thank you. My second another question would be for Coach Poided. In a couple of days, we'll be seeing the new agent. Everybody is saying it's a duelist. So if it's a duelist, can we see Durka on that? Because given that the like Teho was introduced and he was immediately playable in the current meta and he's one of the most picked agents in this tournament as well. So you as a coach, how do you see upcoming stage one? And will you be trying new stuff and experimenting with the new agent?
I think the best answer is we're going to be experimenting with a lot, not necessarily just the new agent, but also, just different compositions in general. I think our team is talented enough to understand the fundamentals with like quote unquote the old meta comps, but also this team here is really quick to adjust. I think Sayf at the helm of IGL, it's insane that his creativity and thought process, and he's able to kind of see new agents and maps in different ways and different perspectives than anyone I've worked with beforehand. And so whether it's a new agent, whether it's Tejo integrations, whatever it is, I think we're definitely going to be testing the waters. So we're definitely going to be a creative team out there.
Thank you guys and best of luck for stage one. Hope to see you in Masters Toronto as well.
Appreciate you.
Thank you. We had a couple more questions come in from the remote media. We'll go next to Miguel.
Hi, thank you. Miguel Soriano from Sons of KS. Well, first of all, sorry for the result today. I know it's bumming, but you guys are really talented and you show through all the competitions you've been into. My question would be for Coach Faded. Since, well, as Dirk mentioned a little bit earlier, this is a new roster. This is like a new team coming out of blue on this season, and you guys managed to get the trophy on kickoff and come this far on to Masters. So my question would be, how would you sum up the way you've been playing all up to this point, and what would be like the highlight you take from the tournament?
I think in terms of the first part, sorry, so second part was kind of like highlight. First part was like how I think we were playing up to this point, right? In terms of how we're playing, I think Dirk has summed it up best. We have really high expectations. Les and Dirk have been far. I think even with Kimmy, Sayf, and Trex, they all have a winner's mentality, and I think my perspective is I'm proud of them. I think we're definitely really hard on ourselves for wanting more, and I think it's one where it drives us, right? And we're always able to kind of figure out ways to adjust. And I think this tournament will kind of prove that one of the key things we did in this tournament was we always fought back, right? I think we always had some sort of way where even when we're down 1-6 or the score line looks kind of impossible, we kind of crawl our way back, and we're always willing to kind of put our foot down and never give up until the end is done, right? So I think especially that mentality is something that you can't teach someone. I think it's something that's innate, and it's something where it's a very competitive mentality. And with that spirit, I think we give a little bit more experience with each other, and it's also growing pains for me, right? I think working with such talented individuals, there are certain things that I need to emphasize, or certain things that I need to adjust personally, and it's not just them that needs to quote unquote find things to adjust or whatnot. It's also on me. And when it comes down to what they did well here, like it's what it is. It's the fighting spirit, and we kind of tested the waters to see the best in other regions and kind of competing to see where our level is at. And EMA is a great region, but I think the teams that are here definitely have different styles and different expertise, and it was really good for us to kind of battle it out, right? And now we know what we need to do for the next international. We need to know the ultimate goal is always going to be champs, and by the time champs comes around, we will be swinging. So that's what we're looking forward to.
Thank you and best of luck. I know we'll see you back in Toronto.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. And we'll take the final question from Pedro Romero.
Yeah, this one's gonna go to Sayf. Obviously, like looking at this affair, you guys previously faced each other earlier on in the competition. So I kind of want to ask you about that. What do you think was the biggest similarities or more so differences that you've seen within that T1 squad, from that first encounter, comparing that to today? And also on top of that, what was the difficulty like, if you can describe it as such, when it comes to facing this version of the T1 squad and yeah.
I mean, they're heavy shooters, so they can also like put us down. And difficulties is like, I think when you play against something already, or a certain concept or a style, it becomes like readable, let's say. I mean, there was a lot of info about us and what we do, and there's some ways you can avoid that, but we kind of walked into the unavoidable, and they did a good job. I think they're just a strong team, just like any other team here. So it's difficult when you've already shown things and people have a read into it, and then you're trying to find time to do new things, but you don't have the time. So yeah, it's a combination of things, I guess.
Thank you. I believe that was the final question of the press conference. Vitality, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us today.
Yeah.